I'm back. There are so many new manga on the horizon. I have curated a list of over 30 titles to get you guys excited for the upcoming months. Let's get into it. Really quickly, where have I been? I've been in Korea, dude. I went with Michelle. I got to meet the family. We went for a while. We went all over into the countryside, all around Seoul. It was really lovely. I even bought manga for Michelle's mom, and that'll be a special little Patreon vlog, so links to that will be down below. Let's do a little catch up here. What manga or light novel have you been reading? And also, what series are you looking forward to coming out? Now, I've made these videos before in the past. We're gonna do things a bit differently. I typically try to give you guys the exact day and month that these manga titles are coming out. We're gonna go by seasons more or less because titles, or not titles, but dates get shifted around so many times that it's just better safe than sorry. We're gonna go by seasons this time. This first one I like to get you excited about because it comes out very soon, and we're talking about Love Bullet from Yen Press, and I believe this one comes out in a matter of weeks here. In my notes, I believe it's December 9th. Now, believe me, I know I mentioned rolling into do seasons, but that will be for everything in 2026. This one has a confirmed pre-order day, and hopefully it doesn't get shifted around too much, so December 9th for Love Bullet. It's gonna go for around 11 to 12 bucks. Now, for all of the prices that I'm gonna mention in today's video, they're all gonna be in USD, okay? Now, when Love Bullet was initially announced, there was a lot of traction online for it, especially after we found out that it is going to get paperback editions. And for me, I am a big paperback junkie. If you're new around here, now you know. I love paperbacks. Don't get me wrong, I will collect the additional, or not the additional, the occasional, that's the word, the occasional hardcover. As you can see, there's some JoJo's behind here, and I have more hardcovers, but I prefer paperback, so that's a win for me. Now, Love Bullet is a spin on that Cupid trope, whereas opposed to having like a bow and arrow and firing at someone, there's guns and love triangles and mystery and action. So we're gonna see where this one goes. Like I mentioned before, it was massively well received, the announcement when Yen Press started putting it out. So I actually don't know too much about this one. It is on my radar. It's coming out in like days now. So we're already like in the middle of November. Dude, Thanksgiving's almost here. That's crazy. We are in the golden age of reprints and deluxe treatments for series that have been chronically very difficult to get your hands on. And by difficult, I mean expensive. I remember looking at Battle Royale back in the day on eBay with you guys on stream. So expensive to collect. And much like Mushishi was, much like some of Initial D was, we are getting that omnibus deluxe treatment for Battle Royale from Yen Press. So let's talk about it. These deluxe editions are going to be $55. I think with $55, that's probably a hardcover, although I don't know. If someone knows, let me know down below. I conveniently forgot to write that in my notes, but I feel like $55 is the price point of like a hardcover. I would love to see it paperback, of course, who would have thought, but I mean, hardcover is still really cool, and you're getting Battle Royale at retail price. That's amazing. In my notes, I have it for early January. However, we're just gonna go ahead and say early 2026 because I'm gonna give all of these publishers room for like something happening, okay? So early 2026. This next one is put out by Square Enix, and let's talk about Otaku X Girl for just a second. Like I mentioned before, this is put out by Square Enix, and it will, I think, go for around $12.99. Also, really quickly, before we go forward, all right, I'm mentioning full retail price. However, if you have like your memberships to Crunchyroll, Barnes & Noble, wherever you shop, Books A Million, I'm sure you can get them a little cheaper, and I'm always an advocate for waiting for sales as well. The premise on this one's really cute. Is it the deepest thing in the world? No, not at all. But it's a rom-com, okay, where we have a very knowledgeable otaku who helps like one of the popular pretty girls at school for certain reasons having to do with like fashion, and a friendship builds between the two of them and maybe something more. Of course, there's gonna be something more. It's a rom-com, right? This is gonna be really cute, really funny, and hopefully a lot of like really relatable scenes because I mean, I'm an otaku and I have a partner, and hopefully it's really cute. I have a feeling that it will be. This one I'm oddly looking forward to, so I don't have to wait long. We don't have to wait long, so early 2026, Otaku X Gal. Next is one that I imagine will sell well. Put up by Square Enix, $14.99, I believe. The title is My Favorite VTuber is Scary. I mean, just look at the cover. Just look at, this is gonna do so incredibly well. This one caught my eye. We go over like new releases on stream every once in a while, and I remember this one caught our eye. The entire chat was like, yes, I'm going to read that. And the premise is interesting. Probably going to be kind of predictable, not going to lie. Another rom-com, I'm assuming. The base premise is that there is this, our main character is like a delivery driver, and he always delivers to this place, to this girl who is just like very pretty, but oddly like, just, she looks mean and scary, all right? Hence the title, my favorite VTuber is Scary. Okay, but one day, she never talks, but one day she does talk, and he instantly clocks her voice as his favorite VTuber, and of course, events unfold from there. I think it's gonna be charming. I'm definitely gonna read it strictly for the plot, and I'll let you guys know. But I think a ton of us are gonna check this one out, so let me know if you are down below. Remember, Square Enix, $14.99. My favorite VTuber is Scary. Next is a highly anticipated series called Centuria, and when this one was announced, that's when I found out about it. It's already had a cult following for a little while. Like I mentioned before, a ton of people are looking forward to this one, so let's dive into Centuria. This is put out by Viz and will full retail for around $13 to $14. This is gonna have a much darker premise where we have our main character that was born into slavery and essentially through a series of unfortunate events continues to live his life in slavery and winds up taking care of a slave's child.
Hello, we are almost at 50,000 subscribers. That has kind of been my dream since starting YouTube, to be honest, and I just wanted to welcome in all the new folks finding the channel. It feels great to be uploading again, and if you're new around here, once again, welcome on into the channel. If you aren't subscribed, consider subscribing for more content by hitting that sub button down below. All right, just wanted to say hi and welcome back to the recommendations.
This next one, a lot of tropes I like here. I'm a fan of the romance amnesia trope. Let me know if you are, but Love at First Memory is coming out early 2026. And it's gonna be going for $13.99. So the main character is trying to have, it's a reverse harem, all right, where she's gonna try to find out, because she lost her memories, obviously, who one of these four suitors stole her heart initially. Okay, so probably gonna be a little predictable, but I don't care. I love amnesia trope, like sign me up. You know, this seems like a really fun premise, promising rather, at least in my opinion, and it looks really fun. The art is also absolutely gorgeous. Keep your eye out for this one, okay? I'm gonna read it, I'll report back. Let's quickly move on. This next one, I'm not quite sure how to say this. Maybe it's Galax, Galaxis. Galaxis? This one's put up by Kodansha, and it's gonna retail for $13.99 once again, early, like January, February timeline of 2026. This is a new shonen, and honestly, Kodansha is on like a really good run right now with shonen stuff, so that's really fun. However, this one has to do with a girl, dragons, adventure, massive world. It looks promising. I don't know if I'm gonna be a day one Andy with this one. However, I will admit, I'm a sucker for adventures like this. I love dragon series. I love dragons. One of the light novels I'm going to be reading is going to be Reincarnated as a Dragon Hatchling Volume 1. That's like in my queue coming up very soon. So hopefully this checks a lot of boxes for me. I don't know, but that's why I'm putting it in this video, because it looks promising to me. Like I mentioned, I curated 30 plus volumes. This one I'm going to keep my eye on, and I want to make you guys aware of it. Hopefully you guys read it, and I'm so sorry for butchering its name. Once again, it's put up by Kodansha. I believe like 14 bucks, $13.99, I believe, and early 2026. Let me know your thoughts, and let's quickly move on. Okay, this next series blew up online. There was such a positive, it was received so positively with so much hype when we got the announcement for it that it immediately was like on my radar. So let's talk about Ichi the Witch. Gorgeous art. Absolutely gorgeous art, and I think the main character, I think we're gonna see like a ton of cosplays. It's going to be popular. I can already tell it's going to be popular. Heck, it already has like a pretty serious following already. Okay, so the world is run off of magic. Okay, we get that, but typically it's only like girls and women that can like use magic. All right, so here we have Ichi the Witch, right, who is the only male, I think in a long time, that like can use magic. And of course, that's going to be like a whole thing at the beginning of the story, but he is also like a trained hunter, if memory serves correct. I believe I have that in my notes. So he can pick up anyone that has like, he can pick up on anyone or anything that like has bloodlust. So there's going to be like a whole mystery and like hunting adventure aspect to this, which I'm very much excited for. It just seems like it's going to be really fun, and I know it's popular, so I did want to mention it here in today's video. Honestly, sign me up. Next, we're moving on to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Of course, there's going to be some JoJo stuff in here. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Purple Haze Feedback, I believe. This is exciting because I believe this is the first ever light novel, like spin-off light novel for JoJo's. Of course, this is going to be put out by Viz Media, and it's looking like it's going to retail, or at least pre-order, for like $26. All right, this isn't necessarily a new title, much like Battle Royale is getting a deluxe. Blue Lock is getting Omnibus. I believe that they're 3-in-1s, which is good for the collectors out there that are just starting to get into Blue Lock. Like I mentioned before, they're going to be a 3-in-1, so the page count's going to be quite high, and I think they're going to retail for $21.99, so just shy of that $25 mark. I think there's going to be a lot of value, depending on the quality, but I have faith that it will be okay. So just shy of $25, you're going to look 22 plus tax, give or take. Great time to get into Blue Lock. Moving on to our first box set, which is the Ghost in the Shell Legacy Edition, and this looks absolutely amazing. This is going to be put out by Kodansha, and it's going to retail, okay, it's going to be expensive, all right, but not as much as I thought it would be, but still, it's over $100. It's going to, I think it's like 118, so let's just round up 120 full retail price. I think this is a push because Science Saru and Netflix are like working on a Ghost in the Shell thing for like an anime. So I think this is like a push for like more sales into the Ghost in the Shell, rather, excuse me, into that franchise. But that's not really a bad thing. This box set looks like it's going to be, they're marketing it clearly towards like maybe someone who falls in love with the anime adaptation, but also like the collector here, because there's some items in this box set that have never been released here in the States. So let's talk about it. Let me bring up my notes because there's like a lot in this. So there's 2 brand new illustrations from like the original author, okay, that are created just for the box set itself. So these will be absolutely brand new, and you could only really get them in the box set. I mean, of course, you're gonna get the full series. I think that's a given. So you're gonna get the whole series. You're gonna get 1 new piece of art with 10 posters from the limited edition 1997 box set, which has never been released here in the US. And of course, they're gonna include other things in the box set like stickers and some other stuff as well. Collector's items. This is definitely going to be for the collector, okay? So this next one, I wanna mention, there is technically no release date. We're going based off of rumors, but I'm putting the energy out there, okay? Siren is rumored to get reprints, which is quite exciting for those of us that want to collect this series, okay? So obviously it's been out of print for a while. The cover was updated in the summer, all right? And on top of it, the price was updated to $11.99. So we're going to see, those are all massive indicators that reprints are coming, but it's just rumors at this point, pure speculation, but I'm putting that energy out there, okay? We got 2 really good signs. Let me know if you would want reprints for Siren to come back in circulation. I would certainly pick it up, so let me know if you would down below. So let's move into spring, which I'm gonna be defining as like March, April, May. All right, Sun Can Rock. All right, this one is by the same artist as the legendary Boichi. All right, from Dr. Stone. It's going to look incredible, and some of it does look like Dr. Stone art, not gonna lie, but like he certainly has like a style. But good Lord, does this look really cool. And there's a really interesting premise. First of all, this is another title put out by Kodama Tales, which are kind of making their like big debut on the scene with Baki right now. I don't know if you guys can see this, Baki's right here. They're the ones that are putting out Baki. And man, their release schedule is crazy. They're killing it. I've talked to the team. They're good people over there. I hope this is another massive W for Kodama Tales. They're just a wonderful team, and they're small. So hopefully this is a W for them. So the premise of this one actually takes our main character to Korea, which I just got back from. But it starts off basically with our main character losing everything, like his family, his friends, the girl that he loves ends up going off to Korea to pursue a career in law enforcement. I think she wants to be a cop. And eventually, as time goes on from the beginning of the story, our main character sort of hears through the grapevine that the girl that he once loved actually ended up like fulfilling her dream and in Korea and is now in law enforcement. So of course our main character gets the wise idea to go to Korea to try to meet her again. But of course things kind of don't go as planned because let's just say he ends up getting involved in gang activity and on top of it, he becomes like the leader of a local gang, a notorious gang at that. So it's going to be like an interesting trope there where it's like the love interest is a cop, but he very much loves her, but he's also the leader of a gang, and there's going to be like certain things that align with his lifestyle about that as well. We're gonna see what happens with it. It's a really interesting premise. Also, like I just came back from Korea. They're in Seoul. I was just in Seoul. Let's just see how this one unfolds. I definitely have my eye on Sunken Rock, and I hope you do too after this. I will be buying this, if not day one, month one, like the month that it comes out. When it initially launches, I'll be picking it up, okay? All right, next, 5-star stories. All right, and if you remember, I actually own some of these. We're getting this release for the first time in English past, I believe, volume 8 or 10. We'll get into it in just a second. 5-Star Stories is a mech sci-fi series that came out, I believe, like in like the mid 80s and then got an anime adaptation like in the later half of the 80s, early 90s, and it's had a cult following for quite a long time. And if you wanted to pick up 5-star stories, it would have been very expensive on eBay. Someone from the community, you know who you are, thank you so much, I love you and I miss you, sent me a few volumes of 5-star stories. So I actually have some of this series. They're probably some of the most expensive volumes that I own in my entire collection, I think. So it's truly looking like this is the golden era for reprints and series coming back, and things that we would have thought that would never have happened are happening. I mean, we got Mushishi, that's incredible. We got like March Comes In Like a Lion. We're getting so many series I thought we would never get printed, and 5-Star Stories is now on that list. These are in celebration of Katakawa's 40th anniversary, which is really cool. This was announced at the previous Anime Expo, and the release will be going hand in hand with Katakawa and Titan Manga. So like I mentioned before, we never officially got the full run in English. So Toy Press, or Toys Press, I don't know, it's so old. They initially did the run for volumes 1 to 10, and then everything post that was just never brought to English. So this will be the official run in its completion for 5-Star Stories, and I think that's amazing. I don't really have a price, but we know that it will be spring 2026. Moving on next, this is on Michelle's radar for sure. I didn't know this was a thing, but Omori has a manga. Did you know that? The game came out like early 2020, I think. Like it's been a while since I've even thought about Omori, but yeah, early 2020 maybe. And the manga started going on in 2024. From what I've learned about Omori through Michelle, and she has like a shirt, she's played the game. It's like this is anticipated for her. But I know that the Omori community is large and still there, and I know they're gonna show up for this manga. And let me know if you've played the game and if you're excited about this, and this is the first time you're hearing about, I didn't know that it had a manga. Where was I about for all of that? I had no idea, but it's gonna get a paperback. That's cool. So let me know your thoughts and feelings on that one, and let's quickly move on. Okay, this is going to be a double whammy, all right? This has to do with Shugo Chara, all right? And I found out, or Shugo? Yeah, Shugo Chara, all right? For some reason, my brain says that I'm saying that wrong, but I know I'm saying it right, so either way. I found out about this series in the middle of vlogging. I was in the middle of a book off with Michelle. You guys can go watch. I'll link my vlogs down below where I go out shopping. They're a ton of fun to make. Check them out. I'll link the playlist down below, okay? I found out about Shugo Chara. It's like one of the OG like magical girl series. It's been around forever, and we're gonna be getting not only a continuation series called like Shugo Chara Joker, I believe that's what it's gonna be called, Jewel Joker, Shugo Chara Jewel Joker, and then we're also gonna be getting a 20th anniversary reprint for it, which is gonna be amazing. The 20th anniversary will be $20.99, so that's cool. They got it below the $25 mark, which is really nice, and $13.99 for the continuation series, which is called Shugo Chara Jewel Joker. I think I got that right. Okay, next is Witchat Atelier is getting the deluxe treatment, but they're not called deluxe, okay? They're called the Grimoire editions, and they look They look so freaking good. Now the Grimoire editions are gonna be hardcover 3-in-1s, and they're gonna go for $49.99. They are getting the full treatment, like gold foil pages, bookmark, like the whole 9 yards. I mean, just look at this thing. It looks absolutely incredible. And I personally am a paperback guy. Like I've mentioned, I don't know how many times by now. So I'm gonna continue with my paperback editions, that's fine, but I think for someone that is like a mega fan of the series, just getting into it, maybe just wants to spend that little extra dollar, especially once the anime comes out and more people are falling in love with this series rather, sorry, excuse me. This is gonna be absolutely amazing, okay? It's gonna look really good on the shelf, no complaints here. They got it under 50, maybe a little over 50 plus tax, depending on wherever you're buying this thing, but good price, sign me up. So this next series, I wanted to include, it's a bit mature, but I have a feeling it will oddly end up being incredibly wholesome, and I think you'll understand why, but let's talk about it for a second. The title is The Mortifying Ordeal of Being Seen. Put out by Viz and will retail for $11.99. Once again, this is like the springtime, those few months of 2026. So the premise of this one is our two main characters clearly have the hots for each other. They're both incredibly attracted to each other and they know it, but it's that like love is war vibe going on where they're waiting for someone to make the first move and they're being like increasingly more flirtatious as time goes by to try to get the other to do the first move. I have a feeling there'll be like some really nice, there'll be some really hot, nice panels, but I have a suspicious feeling that it will be oddly wholesome. It really plays into that very real feeling of that time where you meet someone and you're both clearly flirting with each other. It's exploring that dynamic, and that dynamic, I've been there. Like, that time period is really fun, where you both know at this point in time, like you're both clearly signaling that you're like attracted to each other, and now it's just flirting and being playful. I love that part of like getting to know someone. And I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. And to be honest, if it's done right, I think it can be incredibly, not only wholesome, but like extremely relatable. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they just have like a ton of fun with it. I don't know, but it's on my radar. I hope you guys check it out. Here we're going from spring to summer with June, July, and August, okay, of 2026. This first one is one that Michelle is actually super hyped for, and I am as well. This is by the creator of Beastars. We are talking about Taika's Reason. The premise is wild, but before we talk about the premise, this author is the whole thing going on with this author is crazy. Did you know that the author of Beastars and now Taika's Reason, a whole bunch of other stuff, they are the child of their dad is the author of Baki. Did you? I had no idea. There's probably someone up there like rolling their eyes, being like, oh, you just found that out? Yeah, I just found, that's crazy, right? So hopefully I'm not alone with that, but alone in thinking that's crazy. What a powerful family. That's insane. What a creative family. So imagine your dad was the author of Baki. Crazy. In this manga, so in Taika's Reason, Earth is basically going through a massive declining birth rate, much more than what's happening now, IRL. And society's way to combat that is to take their pets and transform them into like humanoid-like beings. And it's gonna explore like, does that make them human? How are humans going to interface with them? What does like romance look like between them? What does crime look like between them? What does everything look like between them? What happens when you start transforming pets into like humanoid species because of the declining, birth rates? That's an insane premise. Once again, this is scheduled for summer of 2026, put out by Viz Media, and will be around $15, so $14.99. Now this next title, much like the last one, gained massive traction online upon release. This is by the same creator as Nana. This was their works that were basically done a decade before Nana was written. This is a coming of age story exploring what love is as a young adult. Of course, this is gonna be put out by Viz Media. It will be 432 pages. I'm No Angel by Aizawa will also retail for, I believe, $24.99. Let's talk about Lynx, and that's gonna be coming out, and it looks absolutely incredible. The cover art looks gorgeous. A lot of tropes that I personally like. We have like a winter that is brought on Earth entirely from a massive disaster. So it's like a dystopian sort of thing going on. It has to do with like a detective, and you get that noir sci-fi sort of dark vibes in a story. And this detective is investigating like the last livable spaces on Earth. It just sounds so good. It sounds like something I would totally be into. I want to put it on your radar. I have heard no one talking about links. Let's get the word out. Amazing. It looks so good. So I'm gonna get volume 1 and I'll report back to you guys, but links, put it on your radar. Manga Theory in Practice, How to Create Villains is coming out in summer. Now this will be like part 2 of a series from the author of JoJo Bizarre Adventure, where he does these like manga theory in practice sort of books. And this one focuses on how to create a villain. This is put up by Viz and it will retail for $25. And I think this is great. I think there's a ton of us that are trying to write or create a manga, let alone you could probably take a lot of these lessons and apply it to the medium that you're trying to be creative in, whether it's like a video storytelling or storytelling through manga, writing, fan fiction, you name it. I think it will be very informative, and I know that the first one did really well. Next we have Sakamoto Days Assassin's Method. Once again, these are all coming out in summer 2026, and this one will be the spin-off light novel to accompany the manga series. I love this because everyone has a tipping point, what I've noticed with light novels. So you get into manga, and eventually, if you fall in love with a series, let's use Sakamoto Days as an example, when something from that franchise gets a light novel, very much like how Ace got a light novel from One Piece, and there's more now that are coming out, I think it's that gateway to light novels, which have such amazing storytelling. And for a lot of the manga series out there, that's actually the source material, and you can go further than what the manga has, or at least get more context for literally everything. I'm a big advocate for that. It's put out by Viz Media, and it will retail for around $11.99. I think more Sakamoto Days is always a net positive, so let me know if you're excited about it, and let's quickly move on. This next series was received so incredibly well when the announcements originally went out. I am very excited about this one. The art is so captivating, it looks so good. Let's talk about Ultimate Exorcist Kiyoshi. Once again, this is coming out summer of 2026. The premise is pretty bare bones at the start, where we have the world's strongest exorcist, and they're meant to exorcise demons. However, he has, our main character, just a phobia, a fear, a pure fear of demons. So how is this going to work out? And I think it's going to be done cleverly. I think this is going to be quite the funny series, but we'll see. It could be very dark. Okay, this next title is going to hit pretty hard. Let's talk about Cocoon for a second. This is put out by Viz and will be $14.99 upon release, and this is going to be based off of a true story. This one's going to hit pretty hard because it's going to be based around the World War II time. Our main story follows San and her friend, who are recruited as nurses during World War II. The setting will be in Okinawa, specifically like the caves in Okinawa, and this is going to have to be dealing with like the carnage of war, the consequences of war in battle. And of course, we're going to be dealing with loss, death, healing, a lot of emotions. I think if you're anything like myself, I'm not opposed to stories like this, especially like historical manga. It's even better if it's based off of a true story. So I'm not opposed to reading this, but I do think I need to be in a certain mindset to read a story like this. So just make sure that you're prepared jumping into this, but it looks like it's going to be a very good story, and it's heavily on my radar. So once again, that is Cocoon, and it comes out July, I believe, sometime, let's say like mid-summer of 2026. We have a Square Enix title coming up called Starlit Darkness, and this one looks pretty clever. I think I will enjoy it. Starlit Darkness, Square Enix, $14.99 upon release. It's a psychological drama romance. I mean, we have a struggling writer that is like seduced into the darkness from another author, like a successful author, from my base understanding. Sign me up. Takes place in the 20th century, and for those of you that don't know when that is, that's like the early 1900s. I'm a fan of like psychological, like romance sort of series, so this one is right up my alley. It checks those boxes. I'm eagerly awaiting this one, and Square Enix is on a run of like really good titles recently. So I'm gonna put my faith in Square Enix, and we'll see where this one goes. I will report back. I don't know if I'll pick it up like week 1, but I will be picking it up. And Square Enix, if you're watching this, please send it to me. I would love to make some sort of video on it. We have just some brief news really quickly. Attack on Titan is getting its definitive edition. And yes, if you're thinking like me, Attack on Titan has like a massive amount of editions, so this is not to be confused with like the colossal editions or the collector editions or the box set editions or the paperback editions. No, or the omnibus editions. No, this is the definitive edition. These will be $54.99 and it'll be 3-in-1 hardcovers. They are going all out for this one. This is gonna be like the premium definitive edition. You see where I'm going with this? Like gold foil, like pages and whatnot. It's gonna look really pretty, okay? And of course it's gonna be a hardcover. It's going to be for the collectors out there. I personally won't be picking this up, but I can totally see that mega fan just at Barnes & Noble spotting it and like, what the heck is that? And just sort of like when I wanted to buy, like, I believe like, I think it also called the Colossal Edition for Tokyo Ghoul. I was just, my eyes just got so big and I was like, what the heck is that? I immediately just took it off the shelf and whatnot. And I regret not picking it up, but this will have its market. Trust me, it will do well, okay? Next, we have a massive W for the shoujo community, and a massive W for me because I've never read it. Mars is getting their 30th anniversary editions, okay? Put out by Kodansha, and it will be a 2-in-1 edition. This time, that means that it will be completed in 8 volumes. I think that these bright red covers are going to really stand out. Hopefully, someone is wandering around a bookstore, and after the initial wave of hype kind of dies down for Mars and these 30th editions are just out there, if you're like me, let me know. In fact, let me know down below. Have you ever bought like a manga out browsing? Because there are folks that do this, that like you buy it based off of the cover art or like the synopsis on the back. I'm definitely guilty of that. Let me know if you are. I'm hoping that this bright red cover really attracts some attention. Folks are curious enough to pick it up off the shelf, realize it's a classic. Mars used to be like a top-selling shoujo series, so there's definitely that like cult following. There are people that are going to pick this up immediately, so hopefully we get some more love because shoujo definitely needs it. It's been out of print for quite a long time, so this is the opportunity to pick it up at just standard retail price at $22.99. So I'm very much looking forward to it. Naoki Urasawa finally mentioned with Billy Bat, and I know a ton of you guys are looking forward to this. This will be volume 1 of Billy Bat, which is a sci-fi series put out by Naoki Urasawa, and there has been so much hype for this release. The backdrop for everything takes place in LA at first, and then they will go to Japan, but however, a lot of the story takes place in Los Angeles, at least the beginning. Our main character is a Japanese-American comic book writer who is working on his character, which is Billy Bat. Now Billy Bat is a detective. However, story goes on, he's working on him, but he quickly finds out that Billy Bat itself may have been plagiarized. So our main character wants to go meet the original author of Billy Bat, who is in Japan. Our main character is Kevin, he's in LA, finds out he plagiarized this character he spent so much time creating. So he wants to go meet the original creator of Billy Bat. So he takes himself to Japan. And the time period is, it's very much like a war-torn Japan. It's not the best situation over there currently. So now the game is trying to track down the original creator of Billy Bat. And the more he dives down that rabbit hole, the more mysterious it gets. And that is an amazing premise. Absolutely amazing. Sign me up. It's Naoki Urasawa, a massive fan base, amazing legendary author within the community. I highly recommend checking it out. We have been recording for a while, but now is my favorite part of the video as this is my most anticipated release for the year. We've now gone from summer, we're skipping a whole bunch, we're in like fall, winter time. We have no idea really when, there's no real like set date yet. But Beck Mongolian Chop Squad is coming back and I'm so excited. When it got announced, let me tell you, my leg was shaking from all the notifications I was getting from Discord, Twitter, Instagram. You guys were just screaming at me to go check out the announcements, and I was screaming back at you guys that I was so utterly excited that one of my favorite series of all time that have been chronically difficult to collect, and by difficult I mean expensive because it was old Tokyo Pop, is coming back and I can pick it up full retail and add it to my collection. This was a formative series for me that I found in college while I was in music school. Watched it I don't know how many times. I even have the original DVDs that I picked up for a very pretty penny in Book Off during a vlog. I'll let you guys, all my vlogs are linked down below. I've already said that, so you guys can go check that out. It even still has the picks that came with it, the guitar picks in the DVDs. I wanted to pick them up because they were no longer on Crunchyroll. It's a long story. Anyways, like I mentioned before, there's no real set date. All we know is that it's going to be towards the end of the year in 2026. And that's really all I need to be excited about. The simple fact is that it's happening. and I'm over the moon for it. And I will keep you guys up to date, whether it be in YouTube videos, or I highly recommend just going to follow me on like Instagram, Twitter, or like TikTok. I will keep you updated with this one. In fact, I'm gonna be so annoying when we get like hard info on this. It's gonna be so good. I love this series from the bottom of my heart. It's such a good manga series. The anime is so good. I even learned a song from the anime back in the day. It's amazing. This is one of those times, and it really reinforces, like, the motto of today's video is that we are truly in the golden age of like reprints and deluxe editions. And it just reaffirms that notion where, like, much like March comes in like a lion, Battle Royale, Mushishi, there are these series that I thought we would really never get reprints of that are totally getting the reprint treatment. I'm waiting on GTO next. I'm waiting for that announcement. Someone's gonna do it. I'm waiting on who. And it's just a really good time, because now if you go on eBay and you try to pick up Beck, especially as like a set, it's expensive. I mean, it's just so gosh darn expensive. And a lot of the people in this community, the vast majority, just want to collect and read this. We're not looking to get this stuff graded, or we're not looking to get this stuff like selling it for later. We just want to read it. And I think picking it up at full retail price not only will introduce this series to a ton of new folks that will just see this out browsing in the store, whether they be at like Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, wherever you're shopping, right? It will maybe introduce folks to the anime as well, get a resurgence of that, and just more fans of Beck. And let me tell you, there are a lot more of us than I thought. This is by far my favorite music series. I thought that it was just like a niche cult following, and maybe it is, but we are very loud, and they have been coming out of the woodworks in celebration for this announcement, and I am definitely one of those people. I will be the guy that talks about Beck on the internet once this series comes out. I am so happy. And same with Kingdom. I'm gonna be so annoying when I get my hands on Volume 1 of Kingdom, which is, I believe, already out at the time of making this video. Anyways, we're gonna go shopping for it. Blah, 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 blah. I'll make a vlog soon. Really quickly, this was announced on Anime NYC, so the news is still like relatively new, kind of, sort of, and I'm guessing it's gonna be an omnibus. It has to be an omnibus at this point. I don't know the price. I don't know like the exact month or anything, other than it's just gonna be like very late 2026. All right, you guys, I've been recording for such a long time. Hopefully you found, I love making these videos, and hopefully you guys found at least 1, 2, 3 new series that you can put on your radar and look forward to in the year. If you made it this far into the video, make sure you're hitting that like button. It really does help support this channel. And if you're around here, hit that subscribe button so you know when I upload next. Like I mentioned before, I'm streaming a lot on Twitch these days. So if you haven't joined the Discord, it might be a great time to join. First of all, I would love to meet you. Come say hi. We're on stream. Discord is like where you'll know where I'm uploading videos, when I'm going live, where I'm going live, the whole 9 yards. My sort of main hub is Discord. So of course, we'll link that down below. And if the link isn't working for any way, make sure you let me know in the comments, and I'll reply with like a working link, okay? I miss you guys. It feels good to be back, and I will see you in the next video very soon, okay? Bye, you guys.